Don't you love seeing young men with their pants around their knees? How about girls showing as much body as they do on the beach? Kids in the present day think it's okay to wear marijuana t-shirts while having their pants down to their knees, or seeing a young girl dress as if she's a streetwalker. A lot of this comes from poor parenting. It makes the argument easier that all public school students should be required to wear school uniforms. School uniforms curb drugs, violence, while supporting unity. In the debate over school uniforms by Gina Gladstone, uniforms also help eliminate cruel insults and senseless fights that occur over clothing, says Debbie Olmsted, a guidance counselor at Nicollet Middle School in Burnsville, Minnesota. She reports that the pressure to dress like everyone else brings kids to her office all the time. Anyone can go spend 5 minutes at school and be able to put students into groups of jocks, nerds, preps, poor kids, goths, rednecks, and thugs. These groups of students would gather in a group that only consists of fellow students dressed like them. Within a few moments, you can always spot a kid trying to fit in with that group. I have been out of school for 22 years and still can tell you where each group of students hung out during breaks. The jocks would pick on the nerds. Preps would talk about the poor kids and the goths. School uniforms would have done away with all of this. Going to school every day is often scary to some students. They dread knowing that when they see certain kids, the picking and ridiculing will start, and a lot of that could be reduced if uniforms were mandated. There were kids growing up that I can remember that had to wear the same clothes day in, day out, due to growing up very poor. And a lot of these kids would get picked on daily. School uniforms create a level playing field among students, reduces peer pressure and bullying. School uniforms puts everyone on the same level. Some kids get picked on because of the different groups they are in. Some get picked on because of what they wear. In research that Ann Bowden wrote, School Uniforms, Academic Achievements, and Uses of Research Similar, in 1932, the president of Music, Indiana High School proposed uniforms in the name of eliminating class distinctions in high school and placing the poor on equal footing with the rich. I remember going to high school and being excited about upcoming sporting events and pep rallies. But I also remember kids dreading going to pep rallies and never going to the games. Most of them kids that wore torn, dirty clothes were picked on for being the smelly kids. Wearing a uniform enhances school pride, unity, and community spirit. In school uniforms, a quantitative analysis of aims and accomplishments at the two Christian schools, Michael firmly said cases of private schools, the uniforms became a means of defending status. And in the case of public schools, uniforms often provide an equalization effect for the poor who otherwise came to school looking underprivileged. Bringing all the students together to cheer for their high school helps bond community and increase morals within the student body. There will probably always be bullying in school, but with all the kids in standard uniforms that everyone has to wear, a lot of bullying would cease to exist. School uniforms help prevent the display of gang colors and insignias. Gang activity has increased over the last 20 years according to district teachers. The uniforms has created a better classroom learning environment by curbing gang tension and the popularization associated with the name brand clothing. Most gangs associated rivals members by what they're wearing. Uniforms would completely cut this out. Along with cutting out students being sent home because of inappropriate shirts such as Malcolm X and Big Johnson's. School uniforms would deter crime and increase student safety. By wearing uniforms, it also makes getting ready for school easier, which can improve punctuality. I understand the fact that some individuals are always late, just like some people are always early. When you attend school, the main purpose is to gain an education, not to critique other kids and their fashions that they choose. When you are trying to pick out clothes in the morning for school, when a uniform is mandated, there is no wasting time picking over clothes that you might or might not wear. I believe it all comes down to how young women and men feel about themselves. If they feel good about themselves, it increases their self-esteem. The schools have already instituted school uniforms, have seen the impact on their schools as well. David L. Bronson wrote in the View Effects of Students' Uniforms on attendance, behavior problems, substance use, and the academic achievement, advocates belief that the uniform increases students' learning and positive attitudes towards school through enhanced learning environments. Why not give them the opportunity while they are kids in school? Because they get out of school during the so-called real world. There's so many more battles that we can have instead of what we're wearing and how we're wearing it. Education and getting ready for the future should be what they have to focus on, not trying to fit in with the popular kids who have new $250 Jordan tennis shoes, or the girls who have the latest styles from the high-end outlets. It should be about giving every child a chance to excel in school and to give them the tools for their future.